we had to narrow down two of the most important smartphones of 2018, they are right here. One is famous for being the best all-rounder that money can buy, and the other is known for challenging that same premise at nearly half the price. Let one of the toughest comparisons begin. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is OnePlus 6 versus Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. "2018 has proven to be a great year for flagship smartphones, but not for their price tags. We spent a greater part of this year praising how many devices we've seen, but phones ain't getting any cheaper, so that's why this comparison is so important. From a hardware perspective, let's just call this one a tie right off the bat. Both devices are gorgeous, they are well built, and both are great to handle. The Galaxy S9 Plus is actually 3mm taller, 1mm thicker, and 8 grams heavier, with the OnePlus 6 being just 2mm wider. There are various color options across the board, each with fingerprint-loving variants, but the OnePlus 6 matte approach to midnight black and silk white continue to be my favorite. I feel that all glass phones should be made with this finish in order to look better in daily use. I also prefer OnePlus 6 cases as they feel like if they blend better with the phone, though the Galaxy has the advantage of better third-party case support, with Muzhou offering some amazing options in leather. Internally, things aren't really that much different. Both devices have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor and both start at 64GB of storage. The Galaxy wins given its expandable storage options, slightly larger battery, fast wireless charging capabilities, and the fact that it does have an IP rating for water and dust resistance. Where the OnePlus 6 wins is with the options of up to 8GB of RAM, dual SIM capabilities, and that its dash charging is seriously second to none. In the content consumption battle, it's really hard to defeat Samsung, even if OnePlus is using pretty much most of the same technology. Sure, the OnePlus 6 has a slightly larger display and paper, but the notch steps over as part of it. The Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is Quad HD Plus capable versus Full HD Plus. The curves on the Infinity display also make for the experience more immersive than the OnePlus 6. To that side, double tap the other and it slides to the other. Last but not least, the dual firing speakers on the Galaxy are also an added bonus compared to the single firing on the OnePlus 6. Really, the fact that the company Though yes, both devices do sport a headphone jack with great output. Again, this seems more like a tie. What one phone doesn't have, it compensates with other benefits. Where the tie ends is in the software department. I have absolutely nothing against Samsung's Experience UX, I actually like the iconography, plus the grid of icons on the launcher. I love essentials like the Edge shortcuts, and this continues to be my favorite always-on display in the market. The problem really lies in how slow Samsung is to adopt new versions of Android, and out of experience, I sadly doubt that that'll change up until the next Galaxy. The OnePlus 6, on the other hand, is a different animal. Oxygen OS is not just lean and based on stock Android, but it also digs deep into applications and only loads crucial elements, making fluidness of the experience more immersive. It's as customizable as a Dream launcher should be, with up to 9 button options in navigation, or gestures if that's your new thing. Best of all, it runs the latest version of Android out of the box, and you can also load Android P on this device right now. Samsung has benefits like Secure Folder, but you can also lock applications on the OnePlus 6 with your fingerprint. Software definitely belongs to the OnePlus 6. When it comes to user experience, I have been using a combination of both of these devices for weeks in New York City, both on the T-Mobile network. Phone calls on each are great, and their glass builds enable them to do great in retaining network connectivity. If playing games is your thing, both devices have their own approach to gaming mode to enhance the experience, though I consider the OnePlus 6 approach to be the most useful of them both. Yes, you now have fingerprint scanners that are well placed on both. Both have facial unlock capabilities. Where the Galaxy wins is in offering a more secure option with a combination of the iris scanner. But boy, is it unreliable in most situations. I would definitely stick to the fingerprint scanner on both devices if I were you. Now, the talk of battery life is really controversial because even if the Galaxy S9 Plus sports a slightly larger battery, I feel the OnePlus 6 does a better job at keeping that battery charge. Don't get me wrong, both devices get through the day just fine, but I've always ended the day with at least 20% more battery on the OnePlus, and honestly I think it has everything to do with all the applications that are loaded in the background on this device. But if we had to narrow down the most important feature of these two phones, let's move the spotlight to the camera. Samsung is innovating with one of the first variable aperture cameras in the industry. OnePlus, on the other hand, has made significant improvements in features like HDR, but its approach of just providing a depth sensor in the secondary camera is kinda controversial while we get telephoto on the Galaxy. Photos during the day are nearly indistinguishable between both. We've got great color, detail, and what I like the most about these two devices is the speed at which they take a photo. They are epic. Bring both devices to low light, and this is where things tilt towards the Galaxy. At f1.5 aperture, low light shots on the Galaxy are just hard to beat. The OnePlus 6 tries hard to keep up and does a very decent job. I'd even say decent enough to challenge more expensive phones in the Galaxy S9 tier. I would also say that it does a better job at handling moving subjects than the Galaxy in certain scenarios. Oddly, I also prefer portrait photos on the OnePlus 6, and not necessarily because they're better, but because I don't have to step back to take the photo as I do with the Galaxy. The Galaxy has been my favorite for months, mainly because of its wide-angle shots and its detail. That being said, selfies on the OnePlus 6 are great. There are now portrait selfie capabilities with a software update, and you do have more megapixels. When it comes to video, we've got stabilization across the board and both devices do a great job. We also have 4K video at 60 frames per second on each device as well. The OnePlus 6 doesn't go as far as 960 frames per second when it comes to the super slow-mo, but it can record 480 frames per second at a full minute, while the Galaxy can only record for a few seconds at a time. Now, selfie videos are not my favorite on either device because of the crop, but then again, stabilization on each device is great. To conclude, let's just say that there is a very big reason why this is one of the toughest comparisons of the year. Both devices look great, feel great in the hand, take good enough photos in each case, and both devices have unique benefits that will tilt the scale on either side depending on what you prefer. The main problem arises the moment you stack the price tag of each device side by side. I mean, seriously, ask yourself the question, are you really getting $300 to $400 more of a phone with the Galaxy than with the OnePlus 6? My answer is no, you're not. The OnePlus 6 is almost as good a phone for a lot less money. What complicates things, at least in the United States, is the timing of the OnePlus 6. US carriers are already loaded with buy one get one free deals for the Galaxy, and you can't really subsidize the OnePlus 6 in the US either. Now, if this were my money, if all I could do was pick one out of these two phones, believe it or not, I would pick the OnePlus 6. I don't subsidize phones, so the extra money could serve me to buy a smartwatch or even a Nintendo Switch for that matter, and I find it to be more of a future-proof product over time given its approach to software. Now, regardless of my preference, you really won't go wrong choosing either of these devices. They are both great candidates as the best smartphone of 2018. Which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you're at it, make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.